channel. It's Hainsey coming back for another video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. It is time to rip the Band-Aid off and review the 2023 season of our beloved Sydney Roosters. And yeah, we've got a regular on the channel. He's back. It's been 2 weeks, but we got Norman from Sportshed TV with us. Norman, how are you, brother? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good, Hainsey. Thanks for having me, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, it's tough not seeing the Roosters playing a grand final, but it is what it is. I'm doing well. Nice little break off footy. Got the internationals, but just keen for the off season to kind of just relax content wise, I guess. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Bit of separation and anxiety, that's for sure. Obviously, being every Roosters game, every home game this year, you're sort of into a routine and you're out of the routine. So my body's out of whack at the moment. But no, it's good to relax and enjoy the off season, get into some more sports over the next couple of months, and ready to go again in 2024. Cannot wait for it. All right, so we're here to do our season review of 2023 for the Roosters. Look, just thinking about it, like, we had a good end of the year, but really mixed emotions about this year. What did you think?
Yeah, definitely mixed emotions. At the start of the year, if you said we had a fantastic year and we just fell short off a prelim, maybe like a dodgy call. I mean, it was one try. It was a dodgy call with the Harry Grant knock on. Either way, would have been beaten up by Penrith probably 50-0 the following week in the prelim. But
Pretty much,
to say we got that far, I would say this season I would give it maybe a B or a B plus. But considering how poorly we started and that we needed to actually scrape for our position there in the end, I'll probably give the season a B minus. To be honest with you, a lot of people expected us to make the grand final. To be honest, anything short of a prelim was a failure of a season. But I don't want to give a failure grade because we had some young boys step up. We had a lot of injuries as well, which didn't help. And still the boys put together a good performance towards the end and got us further than a lot of other teams in the competition. So, we were almost part of the last, 4 teams standing. So,
yeah,
B minus, but it is what it is, I guess.
It's really weird because we're sitting there and everyone's like, yeah, disappointing year for the Roosters, but funny enough, we actually improved on last season. I know it didn't seem like it, but on our placings, we finished higher than last year. Like, we were out week 1 of the finals last year. We got to week 2 this year. So technically you could say we improved on last year, but that's definitely not the case. It's definitely one of those.
Yeah, well, you're right. It's a tough one. We improved on last year, right? And it didn't look like we improved on last year. But then it goes to show we had even more injuries than last year. We still improved on our position. It just gives me more hope for next year, especially with 2 crucial signings, which we'll get into next. But I mean, like, probably we're getting, like, I'd say a top 3 winger and probably the number 1 bench forward in the competition. So it's like that extra X factor that could help us if we've got our players fit and firing and on the field. We could go. We could do some damage next year. I know a lot of people expected this year, but when the players were made unavailable, and then the whole dropping of Sam Walker and that kind of derailed the season, we played around with the spine a bit too much. I think we had a few people in the back line who had a quiet year, whereas our forward pack really stood up. So our youthful forward pack with some sort of extra experience now going into next year. It's like, I don't know. I've never been more excited for a season. I was probably really excited for the 2019 season after winning the comp. But since then, and even before then, I don't think I've been as excited. I'm really excited for 2024.
Yeah, cannot wait for what we got installed next year. That's for sure. And I don't know if you've seen the pattern, but October 6th grand final is where the Roosters win premiership. So scrap the Bulldogs. Scrap the Bulldogs, buddy.
The Bulldogs had no chance. I told Josh, if the Bulldogs win the comp next year, I'm getting a Bulldogs tattoo on my backside, and that's we've shook on it. It's on camera.
Not happening. It's not happening.
It'll never happen. I can't see a world where the Bulldogs even make the top 4 next year. They'd be lucky to make the 8.
So everyone's going to say that because of a theory that they've won on a pattern, that they're going to go from third last to a premiership in 12 months. Yeah. You're kidding yourself.
Different story. If they're in the top 8, I'm open for the discussion. I want to hear it.
I've been in discussion with Winston about it, and he was a bit silent when I told the fact of, well, where did the Dogs finish in 2013? Where they finished in 2003? 2003 prelim final. 2013 week 2 of the finals. 2023 15th. So there's a lot to go at, but we're not here to talk about the Dogs. We're here to talk about our beloved Sydney Roosters. Obviously, yeah, like, overall summary, disappointing how it started, but
Yeah.
we were able to show our fighting spirit that we know what we've got, that massive underbelly that we've got at the club to turn it around. And, 2 minutes away from a prelim final with half our backline out, it was, massive
Yeah.
effort, but we just fell short. So, but look, all in all, I have to give it a C plus, because we're expected to win premierships every season.
Yeah, C plus is fair. The only reason why I give it a B minus is literally like you said, half the back line now in that last game, and the amount of injuries we had throughout the season. For some players to step up, like I'm sure we'll get into it
if
now,
we get to,
but like
if we would have
just
got to,
incredible.
if we would have beaten the Melbourne Storm, well, we were 2 minutes away from doing a prelim final to
Yeah,
lose to the eventual premiers. I'd take that. You're Penrith are too good, but yeah, all in all, but the thing that is really weird about this, Norman. A lot of people saying that we started the season slow. It wasn't really the case. If you look at it, yeah, we did lose to the Dolphins in round one, but if you look at the other 4 games, we got 8 out of 10 points out the first 5 weeks of the season. We beat Warriors, we beat South, we beat Parrot at home. But it was sort of after round 6 against the Storm that's where it really
yeah. After that, the season kind of went
yeah.
downhill. Anzac Day was a real scrape to get that. There were so many games that we lost where we really should have pumped the oppositions. I think I can think to the St George game away after Anzac Day. The game against the Raiders, we really should have put it on them.
Yeah.
There was a game against Manly away where we lost as well, where that was
Oh,
ridiculous.
that
Like
was frustrating because we were by far the better team, and
yeah, so there were so many frustrating games where we were the better team and we should have won. We should have won by a fair bit and would have put us in a better position. But yeah, in terms of the slow starts, I think if you look at the first, how would you break it up these days? I guess the first 9 rounds you can break it up into a third of the season. The first third of the season, it wasn't good at all. We had a great Anzac Day win. We won 4 out of the first 5, which was good after the embarrassing loss to the Dolphins in round one. But the wins weren't convincing. And then when we started to play poor after that Melbourne game, like you said, it just looked like we were such a mediocre team. Like, oh yeah,
well,
these people will fight for the 8 and they'll finish in the 8. But there's no chance we're winning the comp. Like, whereas you look at teams like Penrith and Broncos from the get go, I guess Penrith were a bit shaky early on. But still, after 9 rounds, you looked at these teams and you're like, oh, wow. Even the Rabbitohs, you thought, oh, wow. And then they kind of fell off. But it's like if we start strong, we know we're always going to finish strong. That's what we do. I don't care about falling off in the middle when there's origin. But like, let's start strong. Let's actually build a great foundation. Fall off a
yeah,
bit. Have a few injuries. They're all going to happen. But like when we get to the back end of the season, you mentioned the big underbelly that the club has. We know that's coming. We know we want to play finals footy and we do play finals footy. But soak up that energy and everything we did at the first few rounds and like, come on, let's pump it out again. And then let's push for the finals. Not let's like, you know, I guess like bash ourselves till we get to the finals. And then it's like, it's all up in the air from there. Like, I feel like next year you got to put ourselves in a better position and you don't get to the better positions unless you banked up the points early, the
yeah,
competition points.
100%, 100%. Well, it's an alarming stat, but every season that Trent Robinson's been in the club the last 10 years, how many times do you reckon we won round one?
It's been here 10 years. I reckon we've won round one 3 times.
Twice. 20,
Twice. There you
20
go.
2017, 2021. And it doesn't get any better because we play last year's grand finals in Vegas, start the season.
Yep, I know. So
That's a statement game for us. We need to go out and prove that we're the real deal. We go to Vegas, we beat the Broncos. We need to. We just have to.
we
All right. Obviously, a disappointing start. Then we come home strong like we always do. So at the end of the day, it was a great effort from the boys. Couldn't be proud of the boys how they finished 2023. But I gotta say, it's another opportunity waste. So hopefully 2024 is better for us. All right, recruitment for 2023. So we had some signings come to the club. Obviously, the big one, Brandon Smith. Norman, what are your thoughts of the Chiefs' first season at Bondi?
Yeah, not good at all. If I had to I'd give it a C minus, to be honest. I know he came good towards the end, but he wasn't on the field for a long enough period of time. He never really looked fit, never looked like he adjusted to the system. I was critical of the signing when it happened, and it's obviously you look back in hindsight, I'm going to sound like an idiot, like not like an idiot, but I'm going to sound like I know everything. Where it's like, oh, didn't really fit. I hope he fits. I know he can fit, and that Robbo should make it work, and things will be good for next year. But if you look at it this year, I've always said, and a lot of people have always said this as well. Like I'm not some sort of footy genius. He is an incredible 13. I know he won Dally M hooker of the year a couple of years back at Melbourne, but that was when he was trained in that system, and it was like that 1-2 punch with Harry Grant, and things were booming. They were fine. They were about to win a premiership. Whereas now it's very different. The game's evolved. Other people have adapted to different playing styles. He's an incredible 13, and I just know that he's never going to play 13 at the Roosters, unfortunately. So I'd say maybe a C minus if I were to put a grade to it. But I know he'll come good, and he's got to be an 80-minute hooker. I don't see if he's not an 80-minute hooker, the 60 minutes that he's playing needs to be insane. Like, it needs to be at the highest level, and hopefully we can have someone like Connor Watson actually be on the bench next year, which was the plan this year. We heard preseason, we heard whispers, but obviously he got injured. But yeah, I'd say C minus, and I know he can turn around next year. He literally could be an A plus. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Well, with the cheese, obviously, I sort of expected him to start slow. New culture, new city, new team. Obviously, different surroundings for Brandon Smith, new system, all that kind of stuff. He got battered and bruised for the first half of the season. He got injured. He did his hand out for a massive amount of time. Then he come back, got into the rhythm that he liked, and he was definitely improvement towards the back end of the season. And with some confidence and a good off season under his belt, he's not playing in the internationals. He's getting his hand fixed up again, but he has a good preseason, gets fitter. I think he'll do a good job next year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Tedesco, Cooper Cronk, they came to the club. They struggled early on. They struggled. People were laughing at us in 2018.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
Going back to back. So I guess we're just waiting for it to happen. And then he got a couple of injuries. There was the hand, and there was a couple other things as well. And yeah, I'm hoping for a better year next year. Obviously, he's a fantastic player, so hoping for a better year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we saw the signs late on that, it was a definitely good signing in the long run, not short term, but the long run. All right. So we'll get into the other three. I'm pretty sure that there was only four. Corey Allen, Jackson Paulo, and Jake Turpin joined us late on in 2020. They signed in 2023. Oh, Nathan Brown, but Brownie was a mid-season recruitment. But what about those? What about those three players?
Yeah, so Brownie and Lodge we can kind of disregard as a bit strange what happened there.
Lodge was already at the club, so
he was already at the club. It's just a weird contract situation, and not sure. Yeah. Like, it was the whole thing was a bit awkward. But focusing on those three that you mentioned, look, Jackson Paulo, when he came to the club, I was excited. It's not every day that you purchase someone from your rival club, right? We're buying him. He got death threats at South. He's a young kid. He's extremely tall. He's six something. Like, I'm not that tall, but he's a couple of heads taller than me when I met him back at when he was playing at South. And I just thought, look, we're pinching someone from over there who clearly doesn't want to be there, and the club doesn't want him. I'm like, if he starts on the wing and we get him firing, it'll be good. I thought he started the season really well. I thought he was one of our best players in the first few weeks. And then all of a sudden kind of fell apart. But before falling apart, I don't know if Robbo lost faith in him or if he wasn't training hard. I don't know what was going on. So then he goes down, and that was, I don't know, found it bizarre. Corey Allen, I was a huge fan of Corey Allen when he was first started playing early on in his career, and was just putting the deep end playing fullback, but he looked fit. He looked fit back then. When he came to the Roosters, he didn't look fit at all. I didn't know what position he was. I can tell you for a fact he's definitely not a center. And I don't know what Robbo saw in him or why he kept playing center. He was missing tackles left, right, and center. It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
I feel like he was doing okay at trying to take the tough carries here and there, but also for a big body, he was still somehow getting dragged back in situations. And I was like, he's really got to go. His defensive reads were shocking, but yeah, I don't know why we stuck onto him and played him for that long. And I don't know why we kind of shipped off Jackson Paulo in a quicker manner in terms of playing first grade week in, week out. And we decided to keep Corey Allen a bit longer. I thought that was a bit weird. Jake Turpin, another really weird situation. So all three, I think, decent players, but very weird how they were played, how they were managed, what ended up happening. Jake Turpin was a better 9 than Brendan Smith this year. And I'll say hand on heart, I actually think he played better than Brendan Smith.
100%.
I couldn't understand why he didn't find himself in the 17 week in, week out. I've got no idea.
Well,
I know it's a big one, so we got a lot of people. I understand he had an injury that wasn't really highlighted that much. But really, looking back, I would rather him start and then have Cheese come on after 25 minutes and play the rest of the game. That's what I thought we were going to do last season. So yeah, weird signings, and they were played very weird. That's all I can say. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, well, with these three signs, obviously they were def signings, but Jackson Paulo did enough. Robbo saw enough in him to get him the nod. He started in round 1, round 2 as well. scored his first try, and then obviously the masterclass against his former club, which was just awesome to see against Souths.
Yeah,
Then yeah, look, I think the Storm game as well. It looked like it was a curse game for everyone. Just played terrible. Obviously, played a handful of games throughout the season, but obviously, you know, wasn't a little bit hard to talk about these three. But like, obviously, the def signings, they did their job. Obviously, it sucked with Jake Turpin that he had some head knocks towards the back end of the season, but I thought they were okay signings, def signings. But the funny,
yeah.
they're all gone now. All three of them are gone.
They're all gone. They're all gone. So obviously Robert didn't like what he saw. The other boys didn't like what they saw and whatnot. But to be like, I know we'll kind of bury this topic and move on, especially since they're gone. But if I were to rank the three signings and how they played, I put Turpin 1, Jackson Paulo 2, Corey Allen 3, and who spent the most time on the field? You flip it the other way around.
Yeah,
Corey Allen,
yeah,
Jackson Paulo, and then Turpin. So I just found that really
yeah,
bizarre. So
yeah. It was bizarre.
I'm glad it's
Also,
behind us.
also this year though, like I'm just trying to get my head around what went wrong at the start of the season. Like dropping Sam Walker. Like our attack was just
So I understand the
neutral.
dropping of Sam Walker was kind of like from a defensive thing, and then I think he felt a bit too confident in attack, which kind of sounds stupid for a young half,
Like,
and you want him to be
it was
confident.
never a bad thing to drop a young player. Like we do it all the time.
But
Like we
we
did
dropped him for too long.
Latrell, Manu. We've done it to them before, but and then he gets injured, which
Yeah, we
we'll
dropped him for
never.
too long. He got injured. It was a curse.
Yeah, like he was out for a month, and then obviously he was going to come back, and then the injury. But people were saying that he'd come back from being dropped. Like we were never not going to bring him back at round 24 or what? No, round 26. We were never going to drop him till then. Obviously, a lot of stuff happened with his knee, but
I know.
Coming to think of it now, was it the right call dropping Sam Walker?
Like hindsight's a beautiful thing, and I'd love to say, oh no, it wasn't, but I just feel like Robbo was right to drop him. I don't think he was delivering. Obviously, he wasn't playing bad, but Robbo clearly saw things that it's like, you know what, you need to have a few weeks in reserve grade, then come back. Defensively, he wasn't doing that good.
Yeah,
In attack, I felt like he was trying too hard to just overplay his hand. So I don't know. I'd say yes, it was right to drop him, but I would have like caught him back after a couple of weeks.
yeah.
Also, the timing was horrible. The timing for Anzac Day was horrible.
It was tough though because we won those. Yeah, we weren't great. We scored 26 points against the Dragons. 27, sorry.
Yeah,
And,
27, one
and
by
then
one.
we won 14-0 against the Warriors. So we got 2 wins on the board while he was off the field. But then it all changed at Magic Round 20-6. Well, I was there. It was
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
absolutely, yeah, it was an embarrassing performance and 3 embarrassing performances, you could say. But in the end, it worked out well. Came back confident too. He really he really, really got a lot out of it.
He did get a lot out of it. If we had to jump over that hurdle and we kind of fell off there, we didn't jump over the hurdle cleanly. If we had to do that for Sam Walker to come next year, being like super confident, bulked up a bit more, and just knows what he needs to do, I'll take that.
Yeah, yeah. All in all, I thought it worked out well for us. I know it didn't seem like it, but look how much confidence he had in the last 3 games, at the most crucial time of the season, the last month he played, to ace, come back and play well against the Tigers. He aced the game against South. He was the match winner against the Sharks. He was almost a match winner against Melbourne.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see from your halfback. A young halfback who has, some of them would sit down, lay over, roll over, just, give up.
He didn't hide away from any moment. And another great thing, he made Kiri look like Kiri was the rookie. Like when he was playing,
Yeah.
I still feel like Sam Walker had more impact this year than Kiri did.
Well,
He played double the game. So
I think we've known this
man.
we know this for the last 3 years. It's his team. It's Sam Walker's team to run. And when he
Yeah.
runs the team, we're a better football side. And that's just facts. That's just facts. Well, all right, we'll move on from Sam Walker. All right, let's go through some standout players from 2023. Obviously, we've got to talk about the main man, the Jack Gibson medal winner. He's dethroned King Teddy. It's Lindsay Collins.
Yeah.
Best voted player, best and fairest for the Roosters this year. What a season for Lindsay Collins.
Incredible season. Whether it's the avocado seeds up his backside or the origin. I'm not sure, but Lindsay, mate, I've loved Lindsay Collins for so long. I remember when he first came to the club in his first year, he hadn't debuted yet, or he'd played one game off the bench, something like that. We had the members' barbecue, the meet and greet. And I
Yeah,
went over to Lindsay to get a photo with him, and he's like, "Oh, all the boys are over there." And he pointed. I said, "No, Lindsay, I want a photo with you." And he was just shocked. He jumped up off his seat. He took his jumper off to be in his Roosters polo. He couldn't believe that someone wanted a photo with him because he
yeah,
hadn't played much at all. But he just ran off that back fence so hard. And I saw him in a trial at Central Coast Stadium once. I'm like, this guy's awesome. And we've just held on to him. And he's just, and for other clubs outside looking in, he's come out of nowhere. But I know people like yourself would know that Lindsay's been, he's had this in him for a long time. I think the last 2 seasons have been good, but nothing was as good as, sorry, the 2021-2022 season was good, but 2023 was just levels above. So my standout players this year, I probably have 3 players, and the good thing is they're all forwards because I feel like if our backs can fire next year, we'll score a lot more points. I'm glad the forwards kind of stood up in a year where we didn't do that well in attack.
yep,
I'd say Lindsay Collins, Nat Butcher, and Siwa Wong. So Siwa Wong. So
yeah. Well, we'll get to them very soon, but
they're my 3 for sure.
yeah, Lindsay and Nat Butcher, they were just standouts for us this year. We saw the potential in 2021 with Lindsay that first up before he did his knee.
Yeah,
He was on fire that first 8 weeks of 2021, and this year breakout season, one of his best years. Played Origin for Queensland. I know he's a Queenslander, but he dominated Origin. Come back and was just a heartbeat of the Roosters. Played big minutes for us, and he was, the unsung hero of our season. That's for sure. With Lindsay Collins, Nat Butcher never missed a tackle. He was so solid, and the Ministry of Defence, you could say, but and as well, and we get into Siwa as well. Siwa, what a start to your career. And speaking of that, let's get into, I guess you could say, the positive of the season, how we bred some young talent into this side and what they have got in the future of this club. It's pretty good to see. Obviously, the first one was Siwa. No, it was Sandon Smith in Gosford. He debuted, and
yeah,
man, Sandon Smith, bro, like what a for a rookie season. Thrown into the deep end on debut in his hometown in the Central Coast, which was great. We were both at that game. That was great.
awesome.
But what he was able to do in the biggest games of his life, 2 elimination semifinals, to create something from nothing to get us back into the game. He's really this kid's got so much potential.
He's got so much potential, and I think he'll put he'll create some great competition between him and Connor Watson to get the 14 role for
Great to have.
So I love that.
I'm sorry. I got to start with Sandon. I reckon Sandon gets the 14 role next year.
Yeah, I think so too. He's got to really.
Connor
Watson's got to get some game time under his belt.
I'll tell you right now, we don't beat Cronulla. We don't hit the front against Melbourne if it wasn't for Sandon Smith.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like the break that he made to get us downfield, and then the cutout ball for Lindsay Collins untouched under the post. And this is a rookie kid, it's like my age.
Yeah.
Maybe younger, doing that in a semi-final. Like, it's insane, the potential. And then talk about the other 2. Siwa Wong, man. We've known this kid for last 4 years. Through Harold Match, through SG Ball,
everyone's talking about him.
Everyone's talking about him now, but we knew this all along, how good he could be.
Yeah. So now everyone's talking about him internally at the Roosters, and now externally everyone's talking about him. But you're right. We knew how good he was going to be.
I had a cheeky grin when he debuted. When he was going to debut, I was like, finally, we've been waiting for this.
Yeah. And he got in that first tackle and just kept going nonstop. So yeah. I love that about him.
He got better and better, and he had to. He was thrown in the deep end again this year for plenty of times. I'm pretty sure.
He's just a pure footballer.
Yeah, he's just a rugby league thoroughbred. To play multiple positions. He played in the centres for a couple of times in games. He just
back row, front row.
Yep. Just did a job for us.
Try against Cronulla, just aced it. Like, you said he's a rugby league thoroughbred. He just really is. Like, just the ball will go to people like that who just give it their all, and you just know they're meant to be on the footy field. Yeah, that was him.
Well, 2 times that happened, the 2 crucial moments of the game, he was involved. The try, the level is up, and the charge down. Charge down, and look where it fell. It fell in the lap of Siwa Wong, he dives on the ball. The Roosters go on to win the game. And
Could be a future club captain there, but
oh
yeah,
God, yeah, God, yeah,
definitely
he's
where he came.
such high praises. Everyone does. So a great. I think that's one thing you can take out of this season is that look at the players that are coming through. And
Yeah, massive.
another one. You've said it. You've really said this all season. Terrell May keep signing for life.
Yeah, so signing from life the moment when he debuted last year, and I
Yeah,
interviewed him.
the Penrith game last year debuted. Yeah, he's
First in the interview, exclusive Sportshed TV. We pulled him outside. I had a chat with him. He was literally just walking barefoot with his like mates around him. They were like just keen to celebrate that he's made his debut. And I spoke to him, and I was like, and then I don't know, he followed us on TikTok, whatever. We stayed in touch throughout the year, and then I was like, this guy's popping off, and I'm like, from the moment he started playing, I was waiting for him to actually get regular minutes and for him to be on the bench or to actually start. And like Robbo was just holding him back, but maybe he was just getting that fire in his belly going because when he came on, he started offloading the ball. He created late footwork towards the line. Like he was looking really good, really damaging. And then all of a sudden, he just started playing good defensively as well. So I'm like, this guy's a real complete forward. Like I know we're not going to get into it for this video because I'll get a head off soon as well. But when we do our preview for the Roosters, I'm sure we'll do a video for that next year. He he's pushing for a starting role next year. Like he was incredible and like he had everyone talking about him. So real positive signs for, and I mentioned my top three players. I have to extend to the top four and add Terrell May in there as well because yeah, he was just on another level.
yeah, 100%. Really, I'm all in for Terrell May, man, and just again one of those unsung heroes where when we needed him, he stood up, didn't complain, and did a job for us, and he was a massive part of our late season run. So there's definitely some talking points to get through, and definitely cannot wait for what we got in store for those in 2024. All right, we're almost just about there, Norman. All okay season, a lot to learn and a lot to be excited about for 2024. I cannot wait for what we got installed next year. We'll be doing a season preview definitely in the coming months, that's for sure. But summing
Yeah,
up, Norman, fair to say, all right season, a lot to improve. Definitely
yep.
a lot to look forward to in 2024. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. A lot to look forward to. I mean, we'll touch on it in our preview. I think we'll go through our ideal 17 and like probably the halves and spine situation that's got to be looked at. But apart from that, there's a lot to look forward to after the challenges that the boys went through this year. But all those challenges to come one try away from making a prelim, we gotta take it. Got to take what we can get. Could be a lot worse. So keen to push for a premiership next year.
Yeah, definitely cannot wait for it. All right, finally, favorite moment of 2023.
Favorite moment of 2023 from a Roosters perspective, the game against Cronulla was probably my favorite moment. The Sam Walker field goal, like Teddy's in the bin, Sam Walker's kicks the field goal. Wong does the charge down, and I'm like, you know what, the boys are on here. That crowd was 90% Cronulla, shit stadium, difficult to
Oh,
get.
it was terrible. It
The
was dreadful.
construction, it's a construction site.
Construction site.
We're not the favorites. Actually, my favorite moment probably 2 weeks in a row. So beating Souths at South's home
Oh, it
ground
has to be being said.
and then beating Cronulla, and it's like, come on, guys, like, have you forgotten who the Roosters are? So, favorite moment was probably that fortnight.
Yeah, I'd go the double over South. Beating them twice in
Yeah,
this.
actually.
They all hyped up about Trelliance. I know, but to go and just say stuff you, we beat you on our home turf at Allianz, home of the Sydney Roosters, and then to do it again round 27 where no one gave us a chance, to be honest. The spotlight was on South. It was like, they're gonna live for this game. They've had this penciled in for God knows how long. We turned up, we sent them packing. After the stuff that they've been talking about us all season, to just go like that to them, you can't top it. Beating them at a core stadium, and we out-chanted the living shit out of them.
Yeah, that was fine.
It was awesome to see.
The borough was empty, and hopefully it stays
it was quiet. It was quiet. I couldn't even hear him. Yeah, plastic fans, South fans. But anyway, they're definitely our season highlights, that's for sure. That, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up our season review for 2023. Once again, thank you very much for Norman from Sportshed TV for coming on once again. If you got anything you want to announce? in the meantime before
Um,
we see you again in the season preview?
before the season preview, we've got a lot of NBL and BBL content coming out. So we've got like the obviously National Basketball League and the Big Bash League. So we've got basketball and cricket content coming out. So have a look at that in the off season. And then we're kind of deciding on which way we're going to go with the charity match. A lot of interesting stuff coming out. So stay tuned for that. I'd say that'll come out around November time.
Yeah, definitely. And you never know. I might get the call up. You never know.
You
All
never
right.
know.
All right. Make sure you guys follow Sportshed TV on all platforms. Norman, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Hainsey. And up the troops. Can't wait for next year. Can't wait for the preview.
All right, nice. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Hainsey_YT. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.